And I think I'm good. So I guess, yeah, first off, so thanks for joining me today. It's been I guess a couple months, I think, from the last podcast we had. So it
Yeah,
was
it has been.
good.
Thanks for having me, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I was saying like I wanted to do it and just like, oh, when's a good time? Like I think right now, I guess before the launch felt like a
Perfect
good
time.
time. They got a few dev streams in between then. So I guess just to start, maybe you could do like a short introduction and tell us what you've been up to lately.
Yeah, sure. My name is Kanon. Hello, everybody. I am an MMORPG content creator, I would say, and most recently, I've been covering Diablo 4. I created a somewhat of a decent presence, I would say, in the MMO space through Lost Ark. That was really got me into the content creating world and maybe platformed a little bit. I actually started by playing Black Desert Online, but that was just purely, just a hobby thing, just for fun. Lost Ark is pretty much when I started doing it professionally and taking content creating seriously. Diablo 4, I've been super excited about that. And the next game that I'm very much looking forward to is Blue Protocol. So I'm planning on getting into BP quite a bit, and it's coming out next week. So I'm pretty excited as far as like the JP launch goes, right? So I guess that's it in a nutshell. I
Yeah,
have a
sounds good.
YouTube channel and I stream
Yeah.
on Twitch.
Right. Yeah, so I guess if you started like Lost Ark, it's actually kind of like a recent for like I guess a content creation and whatnot. Like for me myself, I also just started I guess a couple years back with Blue Protocol, but it was kind of just like a hobby and actually starting to do I guess a little bit more recently, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Lost Ark, I think about 2 years, so no, 2.5 years ago ish, roughly, is when I decided I wanted to actually pursue content creating, and I decided that I was going to pursue it via Lost Ark as my first game. So this is my second full year of content creating. I've been around it a little bit longer, I guess, because I dabbled with it in it just for fun, like I said, with Black Desert Online a few years ago, but no intentions of doing it seriously. It was like one of those things where I'm just like, I have time, I'm done with work, just turn on the stream for a couple hours, might as well, just for fun, that type of mindset. But yeah, I decided I wanted to do it and take it seriously, and I wrote out a plan, and I guess here we are. Time flies. It's been,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in my second year now, and I'm very much looking forward to the future. Very much looking forward to Blue Protocol as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess for myself, I'm also like kind of like a new content creator, so I can see some of myself and like what's possible. If I
Yeah.
try hard enough, I can be
You
just like
should, man. Well,
you.
you've done it great.
Yeah.
You've done it really well, man. And I think everyone knows you, and specifically in the Blue Protocol community. And
Yeah.
I really hope that when the game launches, you get the recognition you deserve. I think you already have it right now, but Blue Protocol, the community in there has been pretty great. And there's not a single person. See, you're still at that stage where everyone's saying good things about you, man. You know what I mean? Like for me,
Oh yeah.
so once I started, when I got to the size where I actually garnered haters and people talking shit, I was just like, I was like, oh damn, okay, so this is what they mean, huh?
That's when you know you made it, right? When you start getting the
I
haters.
guess. I guess,
Yeah.
man. I guess. But yeah, man, I'm very much looking forward to working with you in the future, both professionally and just as a gamer and as a friend.
Yeah.
And yeah, good luck to you in your content creating career. I feel like you've got a great establishment with Blue Protocol. The community loves you. No one I've never heard anyone badmouth you in the BP community. So
That's good.
hopefully, yeah,
I'll try
hopefully
to
you
keep
can
it that
keep
way.
that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'll just do like a little short introduction myself for your stream as well. But I'm Ether Song. I am a YouTuber mainly, and I focus on Blue Protocol. So I just started doing YouTube mostly after the Blue Protocol closed beta test, which was around 3 years ago or so. And they had that closed beta test, and then Blue Protocol kind of went, I don't know, like kind of disappeared for a couple of years. And
Yeah.
actually, I saw an interesting article about that today that Famitsu, like the game magazine from Japan did a
Hmm.
interview about that, and it seems like after the closed beta test, there was a lot of problems with how the game was set up, where they had a lot of like I guess they wanted to test out a lot of things and just try to make a fun game, but then
Hmm.
when they got to the actual like server infrastructure and things, they had problems with that where it couldn't support it with how they had it currently set up. So I had
Right.
to redo a bunch of things, and that's why they like kind of disappeared for 2 years and then came back. They had to remake a bunch of stuff, it seems like. But so during that 2 year period, I just kind of like was playing some other random games. So it was hard to kind of do Blue Protocol content when the developers aren't saying anything. But
Yeah. Yeah.
they came back recently, so I've been mostly focusing on Blue Protocol again once they came back, and that's my main focus. So what I do is I can also speak Japanese, and I live in Japan, so I do a lot of the translations of their Japanese developer streams. So I do like a live translation when they're doing the stream, and then later on I kind of go back and do it a little bit more in depth and do like summaries of the things and kind of just translate information
Hmm.
from Japanese to English and kind of try to cover the Japan side of the game development.
Right.
So yeah, just what I'm doing. So that's for me. And then so I guess for Blue Protocol itself, the
Yeah.
release is coming up. What is it, on June 14th? So I guess
Yep.
just
Wednesday.
less than a week away now.
It's
So
crazy.
so how are you feeling about Blue Protocol right now? Are you excited for the game's
I'm
release?
I'm low key really excited. So I know a lot of people that follow me on YouTube and or Twitch probably don't realize how excited I am because I've been obviously focusing on D4. Like the release date really sucks for me because as a content creator, I want to try
Yeah.
and cover the big games. For
Yeah.
me, my approach this year was, all right, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a step away from Lost Ark so that I can cover D4, which is a once in a decade game, right? It really is. I want to cover that when it comes out, and then I want to cover Throne, which is now a mobile game, so I'm probably not going to cover that. But then Blue Protocol.
Yeah.
So those are like the three, right? So I was planning on stepping away from Lost Ark for a little bit, cover the launch of Diablo 4, maybe get back into Lost Ark, and then cover Blue Protocol once that came out. So that was kind of my goal, but obviously you never know with beta test schedules and release schedules, and now it's
Yeah.
kind of messed up. But yeah, Diablo 4 coming, or excuse me, Blue Protocol coming out next week. I haven't had an opportunity to really I guess publicize my excitement for it because obviously Diablo just came out, right? This
Yeah. Just
past week, not
recently,
even
yeah.
a week, right? So I've been working hard on that, I'm seriously trying to get as much content out on D4 as possible before the Blue Protocol release. And I was planning on starting to do Blue Protocol content hopefully by the end of this weekend, Monday or Tuesday or something like that, like on YouTube. And then from there, you could expect to see a lot of BP content on my channel for sure. So, but yeah, I know that was a long answer, but
But yeah,
I'm
it's fine.
very excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Blue Protocol this week. And I will definitely be diving deep into Wednesday, which by the way, I have a question to ask you, which
Yeah.
we can get to later in regards to BP.
All right. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so once Blue Protocol launches, are you going to be planning to focus on mainly Blue Protocol, or are you going to do like Blue Protocol and Diablo 4 kind of like both at the same time?
Yeah, so I think it's going to kind of just depend, right? So for me, growth for my channels is really important. Um, I have no idea how anything's going to go. For example, if I cover Blue Protocol and no one actually cares, I get zero views and all that stuff, then I don't think Blue Protocol is a game that I would be like that I love so much to the point where I'm like, you know what, I don't care about the views. I'm still gonna cover the game. You know what I mean? And I don't think
Yeah.
any game will be that way for me because for me it is content creating and work quote unquote work first. So I am a little bit subject to the game, but that aside, in an ideal world, I would love to have Blue Protocol be the long-term game that I play for sure, like my main game. I definitely intend to continue covering Diablo 4 to a certain degree, to a certain extent. You have seasons, the
Yeah.
season's coming out in July. I think I'm going to kind of reserve that decision until after I play the JP. I want to
Yeah.
play it next week, see how it is, see how it feels, the real version, see what the community's like, and just go from there.
I think it's always difficult as like a content creator's point of view. It's like you might have a certain game you're super interested in, but no one else really cares about it, and you're like, why? It's like it's so
Yeah.
much fun, or it's such a great game. Why does anyone like want to watch it, or something like that? So
Yeah, exactly. And it's a Japanese game too,
yeah.
so there's some pros and cons to it coming out in Japan first and covering it first. Definitely some pros and cons. I mean, it's tough to say how good the game will do and how good it will be for a content creator. It's tough to gauge that right now, and I feel like
Mm,
we just have to wait for the NA release to really see the full potential of it. But I think we can get a preview of the potential playing on the JP version.
yeah, I can definitely see since there's that delay there. I guess you can get like first access to it, and you can like kind of show the world what it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
but you're going to
Yeah.
get a bigger audience probably once it launches, with the
Yeah.
Amazon's launch. So it's kind of like a trade-off there. You can be one of the first
Yeah.
content creators, but there might not be as big of audience yet. So it's kind of, maybe you can get your foot in the door kind of with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like so I think for me, it's like if I full send it with Blue Protocol during the JP, I think that would give me or anyone planning on covering Blue Protocol the best chance for success as a content creator when the game releases. But you're banking on it being a success, right? It's like
Yeah.
if the game comes out and it's a flop, then you just I don't want to say you wasted that time investing into that game, but there's, for my case particularly, it certainly would be like wasted opportunities. Like maybe I could have just focused on D4, or maybe I could have focused on Lost Ark a little bit more and
Hmm.
gone from there. So but at the same time, for me, at this stage in my content creating career, it's still early, and I want to be able to cover all the MMOs in the genre. So I mean, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. I guess there's always lots of unknowns and you never can really tell the future. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess just going into Blue Protocol's launch, is there any like certain class or thing you're interested to start the game with? Or are you just gonna try out them all or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a Blitz Lancer main.
Oh yeah, the Blitz Lancer got
I
revealed.
don't know if you, yeah, I
Yeah, I
don't know,
saw
like I'm actually world first main, like I said
Wow.
it, like I was like when they said when they released it on the
Yeah.
when they announced it on the dev stream, I was the first person in the world to say it. So
Wow.
to
So we
announce that
got
they're
a
a
world
Blitz
first
Lancer
here.
main, world first Blitz Lancer main. That's right.
It's
That's right.
definitely a class to look forward to.
So I've seen some like leaked footage or leaked photos of the class, back, I don't know, a month or two ago when people are starting to post some
Yeah.
stuff, speculative posts. It looks super cool. And then hearing it on the dev stream where they're saying it's like a more of a high skill cap class
Hmm.
where it's like you'll be you're not going to be performing very well unless you're really you know what you're doing, you have your shit together, but then if you do, you're going to be very powerful. I love that. Like I very much love that in a class, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, it's
Unfortunately, we won't get it at launch, but yeah.
But it seems like it's going to be a fun class to take a look at. They talked about being like highly mobile and having like some mechanic to like mark enemies or something like that. So maybe we can, and I think in the next dev stream, we're actually going to have some footage of that. So we can probably get a better look at it. And
When
then,
is the next dev stream, do you know?
yes. So the next one's going to be beginning of July, they talked about. So just
Okay.
probably like, yeah, I guess probably in a month or so, going to have it out.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, so talking about the dev streams, since the network test, we've had there's been three developer live streams. There's been the 6.3, the 7, and the number 8 stream. Have you been able to like follow these I don't know, streams in detail, or you just been like maybe getting some bits and pieces of it, or like how much have you been following the Blue Protocol news?
Yeah, I have been following it. I haven't been following like every updated Blue Protocol YouTube video anymore because I mean, what could they possibly be posting, right? But yeah, but I have been following every single dev stream. There certainly could be some things that I'm forgetting about
Oh
or
yeah,
not
that's
really
fine.
remembering. But yeah, I've been covering all of them and streaming each dev stream.
All right. So yeah, so I wanted to kind of like go back to some of those like streams we had since the
Yeah.
network test and talk about some of those things. So it was back in I guess April now. So it's even for me, it's like my memory might be a little bit fuzzy, but I kind of
Yeah.
look back
Yeah.
at it. But in the 6.3 stream, they talked about some of the feedback they got from players from the network test and some of the things
Yeah.
they wanted to change with the problem areas. So they were talking about improving things like the low drop rates, adding fixed points for gathering materials. They have
Mhm.
plans to allow players to gather while mounted. They had adventurer board improvements, class balance, natural health regeneration in fields, and I guess reducing unique enemy health and things like that. So they had a variety of changes.
Yeah,
Uh,
there were a lot.
yeah, they had a big list. So, as someone
Yeah.
who participated in the network test, what were your thoughts on the developers' response to the player feedback and some of the changes they had planned there?
Oh man, it was terrible. I think the game's gonna die.
Yeah.
No, I to be honest, so one of the biggest things about Diablo 4, I know people are gonna hear this, be like, what the fuck he's asking you about? Okay, oh, excuse my French, by the way. That was a
That's
yeah, yeah. Sorry. One of the big things about Diablo 4 recently that really impressed me the most was and is impressive to everyone in the Diablo community is the dev team. Like they don't
yeah,
trust Blizzard, but everyone's like, yo, this dev team, they're on it. Like they're making the right changes and they're making them quick. You know, they're communicating. It's really good. And that's kind of the vibe and feel that I got with the Blue Protocol dev team, especially after that dev stream, right? Because
yeah,
everything that was in there, and I'm talking about the small things. I'm talking about being able to passively heal now by sitting down. You know what I mean? Things like that. Like, because I like one of the small things that I said were like, you know, hey, new players coming in. I think we talked about it on the
yeah,
dev stream too. You know, it's very punishing. You can't even heal. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Like at level, 3, you're killing these mobs. One shot is hit. It takes like 25% of your HP, but then like the campfire, like you don't really, like
yeah,
and they addressed even that, right? They addressed that. They addressed the boards. They addressed, what pretty much everything that you said and more. And I was just very impressed by that. And unfortunately, um, I feel like they didn't get enough love from the Western community, maybe
mm,
about it. And what I mean by that is like the Blue Protocol community knows, right? It's a massive W, but I don't think there were enough content creators that I don't think there were enough content creators that were able to really expose that information yet to the public. Like for me, for example, I unfortunately I was trying to cover D4 when the launch, so
that makes
I
sense.
wasn't able to put that news out. I figured someone else would, but yeah, I really like the direction of it. I'm still not 100% sold on a couple of the things, specifically in the last dev stream, which I'm sure we're going to talk about later.
Yeah,
But but for the most part, I think they're doing a phenomenal job. And the dev stream you're speaking about, or you're referring to specifically, a huge W. I mean,
yeah.
massive W. Balance, class balance, everything is just really good.
All right. Yeah. So I think it's the same for me. Like hearing the developers being so open to the feedback from the players and being so responsive to trying to make the game, better for everyone playing it. It really shows that they're interested in trying to just make the best game possible. And for me myself, I had some like I don't know, issues with like maybe some of the class balance, and they really addressed all that areas as well. So it seems like a lot of just all the like major problem areas that players were like talking about, they nearly address, I think, like all of them. So
Literally
yeah.
everything. I mean, even Blade Warden and the aggro issues,
Yeah.
and um mage, obviously. I mean, the last dev stream, though, those mage
Oh,
changes,
yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, it's like, because for me, it's one of those things. Like, I'm always a little bit skeptical about nerfs and buffs that are less obvious based off of early game performance. You know what I mean? Because it's
Hmm.
like, a lot of people are saying, yo, mages, they're very lackluster in the beta test. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's level 20. It's like, maybe it's a scaling issue, or maybe it's just,
Hmm.
once you hit level 50 plus, they get really good. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they know, what they're
Yeah.
doing over there. But that was very exciting for mage mains. I think the Blade Warden changes. I plan on playing Blade Warden, by the way, for the launch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to play. What are you planning on playing, by the way?
I kind of want to go back to the Spellweaver to see like
Okay.
how it's changed, because that's what I was playing in the network test. So to see how
Hmm.
much it improved. But
Right.
I don't know. I might be jumping around a little bit, trying out like
Yeah,
kind of all the classes and getting a feel for things,
for
and then,
sure.
and then maybe like going one to the end and then kind of coming back. But
Yeah.
maybe first
Yeah.
check out some of the changes firsthand and see how much it is,
Right.
how much they improved it, or what is actually different.
Right.
Yeah, so for me, it really feels like they're making a lot of improvements for the game, and it's helping
Hmm.
out. Were there any things, I don't know, like within that you thought were still problematic that they didn't address at all?
So I might be kind of um I guess the only thing that they didn't address, and this is more of a personal one for me, it would be like the itemization,
Yeah.
and but the thing is, I'm okay with them not doing that, because that's more of a personal preference thing, right?
Hmm.
That's like, I just prefer deeper itemization. Final Fantasy has pretty simple itemization. So, if that's what they're going for, fine. That's the game. Take it at face value. Um, Personally, I would have loved to maybe hear a little bit more about options with that.
Hmm.
Um, and also, but yeah, I see. It's kind of difficult to speak on behalf of a specific dev stream, because I'm kind
Oh
of
yeah,
like,
it's fine.
I don't
Yeah, it's probably
remember
all mixed together.
exactly
Yeah.
which. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't mean to jump around. I don't know
No, no,
your list of topics, but
yeah.
I would say the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about would be some of the potential pay to win mechanics.
Hmm.
And specifically, the one that stood out the most was like the imagines that you can get through the battle pass, right? Like the
Right.
premium
Yeah.
battle pass and stuff like that. I feel like that could be a little wonky, because that's literally gear. That's literally gear
Right.
for Blue Protocol. So um yeah, I would say outside of that,
Hmm.
I had people in my stream saying, "Oh, gotcha, what that?" I'm like, bro, they already said for a long time they're gonna gotcha cosmetics. So hopefully the Western community, the non-Blue Protocol community, doesn't see that as an L, because because if you're a part of the Blue Protocol community, you'll see that as a big W, because for us it was like, all right, they're saying gotcha, but they're saying cosmetic only. So are they going to really stick to that? Is it really going to be cosmetic only? And off based off of the last dev stream, that seems to be the case.
Hmm.
That they showcase the gotcha and what you can get, and I'm totally fine with that. And any form of whether it's gotcha or just cash shop monetization, if you're going to be selling cosmetics, I'm okay with that. I've always been okay with that.
Yeah, I think I have a similar stance for if it's cosmetics, it doesn't really impact the game too much. So it's like those who
Yeah.
want to buy it can, and it's a way
Yeah.
for people to support the game. So I guess just moving forward, we'll probably touch on that a little bit more later in the stream
Sure.
here. But I wanted to go back to, I guess, just going through these streams here. So we move forward to the number 7 stream, and that's where we actually got the release date for Japan, and also information
Mm.
about the Amazon delay. So
Yeah.
for me, I was personally I was hoping for like a June release originally, but I was thinking that maybe it wouldn't be possible. Maybe like July would be more realistic. But then they actually said it's coming out in June. It's like, is that coming out so soon? It's like, what? But
Yeah.
at the same time, they're like, and then Amazon's delaying till next year. So I
Yeah.
was wondering if you had like any thoughts about, I guess, both Japan's, I guess, kind of like maybe early release date, so to speak, and then versus Amazon having a delay there.
Yeah, so for me, my initial, again, this is more personal. My initial reaction to it was, yet. Like, really? A week after D4? Like,
Yeah.
come on. I'm like, how, as a content creator, I'm like, how am I going to juggle this? I wanted to cover D4, do the season, maybe even, and then, have like a month or something to prepare for Blue Protocol. And so personally, as a content creator, that was my reaction.
Yep.
As a gamer, that was someone that was looking forward to Blue Protocol. I was obviously pretty excited to see it come out and be, I was like, holy shit, this is actually coming out, and it's coming out very soon. Um, I don't know about the NA release. I was pretty disappointed with the
Mhm.
NA release being delayed, but there are obviously reasons for that, which I don't think any of us really know. We can only speculate
Mhm.
whether it's a localization thing, or if it's just if it's even thrown in Liberty
Yeah.
because Amazon wants to release that first. I don't know, but I mean, as a content creator, there are pros and cons for there to be for there being a little bit of a delay between the releases. But as a gamer, I wasn't thrilled, honestly, for the Western release
Yeah,
to be
it's true.
delayed. Yeah,
I was kind of shocked myself. I'm like, what? Wow, I thought it was gonna be coming out
that's
in
a
like
long delay.
maybe fall or something. I was thinking like
Yeah,
maybe before Christmas they would have it out in
yeah, I was thinking
NA.
like maybe November or
Yeah.
something, right?
But so yeah, I was
Yeah,
kind of surprised as well. So I think everyone, that's probably why there's a lot of people in the community is like always bring it up now whenever I
yeah,
post videos or anything as well. Everyone's saying it's coming out next year. I don't care about it
yeah,
anymore. So we'll have to
yeah.
see how it impacts things. But probably once the game rolls around to coming out in NA, I'm sure people will come back and look at it again and probably start growing
Oh,
a little
for
bit
sure,
bigger.
for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll have a massive launch, definitely. I think it was the right decision. I mean, not that this was on the table, not that I know that this was on the table for them, but I think it was definitely the right decision not to release it now in the West, like with D4 that's out,
Mm,
um and things like that. I think because like if I'm thinking best case scenario for the game and I really want the game to be popular and everyone playing it, honestly, like January might not, I don't know if it's going to be in January, but January might not be a bad release date for the game, to be
hmm.
perfectly honest. It's like what's coming out in January? I can't think of any off the top of my head, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like by that time people are going to be like, "Oh, I want to play." Honkai will have gotten old. Genshin's already been, or that's been here for a while. Lost Ark is going to get through all of like the new exciting content, Elgacia and that stuff. Diablo 4 is going to be kind of old news by then. It's like not that there's a correlation between those two communities, but just anything new game related. Even Zelda is now out, so I don't know. I feel like as far as like a hype thing, maybe January's not too bad.
Yeah, so hopefully we could see it earlier next year than than later for the
Yeah, I
release,
hope
right?
January, man.
Yeah, we
I'm
see the
feeling
jokes about it being like December next year.
December next
Yeah.
year. That would be
Well, that'll
awful.
be off. Yeah. So
That would
hopefully
be
January.
terrible.
Definitely hoping for a earlier than later release.
Yeah.
So I guess along with the release date, we also got a update a roadmap for the game where they plan to have monthly updates, and they're doing in like an order of like a mission update, a content update, a
Yeah.
mission update, and then like a story update. So did you have like any thoughts on their update schedule for Blue Protocol?
I'm interested. Like, I'm kind of wondering whether we're gonna get that in the West. So in Korea, for Lost Ark, they have a lot of updates and they have a lot of events,
Hmm.
not updates, but they have a lot of events that go on, throughout the month. Just random small events. Black Desert Online also did a fairly decent job at this too, back when I played that. I don't know if it's still like that, but it almost seems like, every couple of weeks there's something going on. And like in the Russian version of Lost Ark, that wasn't the case. And then in NA, it wasn't too bad in NA. It's not too bad in NA, but there weren't as many, I feel like, compared to Korea when I was playing. And I'm kind of wondering if that content cadence is going to follow through in the Western version. I feel like it
Mm,
should because it seems like it's kind of, designed specifically for the game's enjoyment. Like
yeah.
it's not like a side event thing where like without it the game would be fine. It seems like they deliberately created that content schedule there
Hmm.
for the experience, right? So I'm hoping we get it. What I think about it specifically, I guess generally speaking, I actually like it. I think we're gonna have to see it and experience it to see. I very much like the competitive aspect of it. They were throwing in some, competitive PvE stuff, like the time attack stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing that into the mix as a time thing, and yeah, I don't know. I just anytime you've got like a scheduled list of events or scheduled content that's within every 2 weeks or whatever, I think that's really good, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I was pretty happy seeing like a monthly update. So it keeps
Yeah.
players engaged. They always have like something to look forward to moving forward. And going along with that, oh, yeah, so yeah, going along with that, they also have the developers doing another dev stream like every month to kind of
Yeah.
update with the game. So it feels like they're really going to be in touch with the community through these monthly updates. So it's a way for them to, I don't know, touch back to the community, talk about what's coming and what they have in the game so far, maybe perhaps more changes and things like that. So
Right.
be having that like, kind of like feedback loop there, I think is going to help improve the game. So even if there are maybe problematic aspects still remaining in the game, it'll give them a way to talk to the community and address it and maybe go forward with a future update saying we can look at doing that maybe in the future here. And also, I guess just, having those updates continuously, you always have something to look forward to, like next month that's coming. So that's fun. I don't know if they're like planning to have players, play constantly. So perhaps these monthly updates are just a way for maybe players to come back like every month to try it out a little bit more and then take a little break and come back the next month, something like that. So I don't know if they're hoping to keep players there, 24/7 every day. Maybe it's just a little bit more casual of an MMO compared to some other ones. So maybe that's kind of their approach as well.
Yeah, I feel like thematically they're kind of going for that. And if you look at some of the stuff that they're showcasing and highlighting, the costumes, the emotes, stickers, to me it really does feel like they're pushing for that social slash casual, not locking you into some super hardcore grind type of approach. And I like that. I think that's really good. I think Final Fantasy players are going to maybe even feel right at home with that type of design, because that's kind of how Final Fantasy is as well. So, and that's very successful. And I feel like maybe that's just the Japanese mentality, right? I mean, Final Fantasy, it is from Japan. So, and another thing that was carried over, I don't know if you're going to mention this later, but I was very surprised to hear about them really focusing on that whole be nice to other players
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Don't be a
they spent a
troll.
lot of time on that.
Yeah, and it's like I was like, man, is this a Japanese thing? Because Final Fantasy's like that. And when I played Final Fantasy, I didn't play for that long, but when I did play, I actually reported someone just to test out whether this system, because I've heard people say, oh, you can't, like, you'll get banned. People, GMs will even contact you if you're trolling people, if you're being rude and you're bullying people. So I tested it and I reported someone for like talking shit. And bro, like within an hour, a GM DM'd me or whispered me in the game and was asking me about it. I was like, what the hell is,
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, this is insane. And well, the translation I was hearing, they were saying that a GM could even contact you in the game and talk to you. I think the translation that I heard, so the person that was translating mentioned something like that. And I was like, man, is this just a Japanese culture thing? But I think if that's in there, I think that's also going to be a big draw for the Final Fantasy community as well.
Yeah, I feel like they're taking like a lot of notes from how Final Fantasy does
I think they
their
are.
game, and they're
Yeah.
trying to do it similar, just with like, I don't know, the developers talking to the community and
Yeah.
just like how they kind of are structuring their game. So it definitely feels
Not a
like
bad approach.
yeah, since Final
It's not a
Fantasy
bad
is
approach.
doing so, doing so well right now, so it's a good
Yeah.
game to take example of. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that they talked about it. Was it like, I think they had like GMs that are kind of like hidden, so like maybe just around normal players and maybe watching what
Watching the fucking trees, like there's like
maybe it'll like pop up if they get a report or
it's like,
something.
"Hey."
All of a sudden a GM tag will appear on somebody. You never know, but
That's right.
Right. So I guess along with these updates, we also got some information about the July and August, and it looked like for July they're going to have the various additions to missions and things and explorable area, but it also looks like they're having maybe like a beach event or something. They kind of have like a blurred out like screenshot of what looked like a beach. So and they were talking about July, so I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe a beach area, and then was it like in August? We're getting the new class, your main class, right?
My main class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard they might allow me to play it exclusively before everyone
Oh
else too.
wow, I'm
For
jealous.
like a full day. For like a full day. I don't know what it was crazy. I was like, bro, I don't even live in Japan right now, right? And they're like, yeah, but we're gonna fly you over. You'll play it in Japan with us. Which, by the way, jokes aside. By the way, what did you catch that little bit about like the setting your clock and time zone thing? Like, I think it was like at the beginning of the stream, and they were talking about how they were. This was when they announced the time the servers are gonna open, right? And on Wednesday. And when they announced it, they were like, yeah, so make sure, to set your just like if you're not from a different time zone, be sure to like know that this is Japanese time zone, this is JP local time, so keep that in mind if you're and I'm just thinking, it's like Japan has one time zone.
Yeah.
It's like why are they saying that? I was like, why are they saying that if it's supposed to be strictly for Japanese people in Japan? Like, why even bring up the time zone thing? You know what I mean? Did you catch that?
I might have missed that, so I'll have to go back and look at that because when doing the stream, I'm kind of like listening and talking at the same time, so I kind of miss a few things here and there. But that's
Keep
interesting.
in mind, I was getting it through a translation.
Yeah, so
but from what I heard from the translation, he's like, yeah, just make sure your time zones are right. I'm like, why are you mentioning that if everyone's supposed to be in the same time zone anyway? Like, what?
Yeah, Japan only has one time zone, so if they're talking about time zones, maybe it's like a subtle hint that they recognize that people from around the world are maybe looking at playing
they're
it.
not gonna say it, but it's like we don't care at the end of the day. Maybe, I don't know.
I'll go back and look at that area.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch that. So we got July maybe beach event, and then August the new class. Apart from that, another topic I wanted to talk about was it feels like the developers haven't gone too much in depth about the Blue Protocol's in game yet. So from what I can piece together currently, it looks like you have like these like rush battles, like this tower score attacks, time attacks, I guess the general like dungeon missions for I guess like content to do, but I don't really know what they're going to be doing fully with like weapons or equipment, if there's going to be more than what we've seen or other content we haven't seen so far. Is there like anything that you have like a hope for the end game?
Yeah. So personally, what I hope for is our exciting raids, good end game dungeon / raid content. I'm very much looking forward towards the competitive aspect of PvE, which is already in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are even in the game there where you can go to like a little wall and you could see a leaderboard, right?
Yeah,
like
that was pretty cool.
That was really
and also
cool,
was like the crowns you get to like wear for a month if you get on the leaderboard. So that's pretty cool.
But still, I love that. I think that's really cool. That's probably what I'm looking forward to the most. However, as far as what's there in the end game, it's like, and I'm gonna just use D4 as a reference here, not because I'm covering it, but because it's the most recent game. It was kind of the same thing. Everyone only got to see level 2025, and everyone's just, the question mark is the end game. Is it going to be fun? And with Blue Protocol, I feel like it comes down to either one or two things that they need to hit the home run on, period. And if they don't hit the mark on one of these two things, I think the game is going to flop. If objectively speaking, I think the game is going to flop. I don't want it to, but I think it will if they don't hit on one of these two things. The first one would be endgame raid / dungeon experiences. If that's boring in a PvE game, it's like, well, I'm not looking forward to doing dungeons and raids. So there's no, I'm not logging into this game for that experience, right? Final Fantasy, great raids. WoW, great raids. Lost Ark, great raids, right? They better hit the mark on that. If they don't hit the mark on that, the other thing that they need to hit the mark on, one of the two, would be the social aspect. If
Right.
they, add how, like, if they don't have anything that's, you know, that focuses more on that social aspect, like housing, for example, more things than just holding hands down the street.
Right.
Maybe throwing in a marriage system in there, because a lot of people, I feel like, from this community would like things like that. More things with cosmetics, and I'm not talking about cosmetics that you can like just buy, but maybe special cosmetics that you can farm through the game.
Right.
Maybe things like that. But regardless, I think one of those two things needs to be really good for this game to do well. And if those two things aren't there, then they better just continue to put out those bi-weekly events where it's like, hey,
Hmm.
this is like a new theme, new event that we're gonna do, so that can maybe keep it fresh as well, right? So I'm hoping that one of those things are good, because let's be real here, Aether, the dungeon experience that we had at level 20, if
Hmm.
anyone is saying that raiding and dungeon experience was ridiculously amazing, they're just being extreme, in my opinion, they're being extremely biased, and it's
Hmm.
just copium, right? Let's if you look at it, I'm not saying it was bad, and I'm not saying it was a negative thing, because it was level 20 content. It's like, how good could it possibly be at
Hmm.
level 20? I don't see that as a knock whatsoever on Blue Protocol. However, if it at the end game, it definitely better be better than that, right? Because the end
Hmm.
game level 20 is a different standard. I mean, let's be real here. The dungeons, it's like you just got to make sure you jump when he does the little slam on the ground. That's
Right.
literally the only mechanic. Come on, guys, this is not that epic. Yes, does it look cool at first? It's anime. Yes, it looks cool, but I mean, even the world boss, it was epic. It's super visually super nice, and yeah, you can get into this little machine and freeze it. But I mean, it wasn't really that. Is it something? It's like Garmoth in Black Desert Online. When you first see it, you're like, "Oh shit, this is amazing!" Like the dry. I don't know
Hmm.
if you play BDO, but it's
I
like a
haven't
giant
played it,
dragon
but
flying around.
yeah.
Yeah, but once you do it a few times, you're not like, "Oh shit!" Like this is the reason why I want to log it. And no, it's just like, "Oh, here it is. These are the mechs," and that's kind of what the world boss felt like, right?
Right.
So I think that the end game definitely needs to be better, and I honestly think that it will. To be honest,
Hmm.
I'm pretty confident that they're going to deliver a solid end game. Um, but yeah, that I guess that
Yeah,
would be
that's. I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
for me myself, I also have a similar stance for the in game. One thing I would really like to see is
yeah.
more, I guess, coordination required for the team. So it's just like if you're more coordinated, you like put together a
Yes.
team, then you're gonna get an advantage. I don't know if they want to make it so it's completely necessary because they have like a matchmaking, because it would have to like force certain team comps or
Yeah.
something like that. But having maybe like more difficult content where it'll be difficult to clear unless you have like a coordinated group or something like that.
Mm.
And also, I guess just for like the raid bosses as well, maybe having some more mechanics to the fight, because right now it's just pretty simple. It's like keep hitting it, shoot it with a laser a couple times. Yeah,
Exactly.
right. So
Yeah.
having
Exactly.
like maybe like players actually have to like think about like multiple like points or something that you need to defend while fighting the boss or something like that, where you have to coordinate. Maybe like some players will defend this area, some players will attack the boss, or some other kind of like triggers or something like that, where you actually need to like kind of work together as like a large group to like deal with the enemies. So some kind of, I guess, a little bit more, I don't know, in-depth, like I guess thinking to it than just
For sure.
attack the enemy when
Yeah.
it's moving.
I completely agree. If we take a look at it, if we look at it at face value, what we experienced was very simple. But again, it's early
Yeah, it's
level.
still early.
Early level, so we can't really judge it based off of that. I think it was definitely a good preview to what
Yeah.
could potentially be there. Using physics and jumping mechanics as part of things that you have to do in the raids. I think that's really neat. And bro, there was that time to attack, things like that, man,
Hmm.
competitive aspect to it. I think team synergies and working together as a group to really min-max that time and performance as a group, I think that'll definitely be a thing. I'm very much looking forward to that. Also, another reason why I'm playing Blade Warden, because there's no way the winning team won't have a Blade Warden in the group.
Right. To
You
control,
know,
the
yeah,
aggro and
I think it's way
everything.
too much value. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that's thing. So yeah, that's just like one thing. And also, I guess one thing I kind of noted from the updates is the initial, they're going to be adding some variations to like the current raid boss, it seems, but it's just like a different color of dragon. It's like red, blue, white. It's
Yeah.
like oh, hoping for a little bit more later on, but maybe just like to start out, they're kind of keeping the same boss,
Yeah.
hoping for maybe like a new one to appear later on, but we'll have to
I'm,
see.
I'm sure I'm sure there will be. I think if you look at the mobs and the areas that we're going through, like the different types of mobs, sure we saw some repeating stuff, but even like even like the mechs for the mobs, I think the AI was pretty good. I think the designs were fairly unique. I'd expect them to give us some good non-dragon fights as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's just something we'll be able to see more once the game launches. We can get a better feel for how the game will actually work past, like the 20 mark. So
Right, right.
so that's one thing I guess to look forward to as we go forward. And also, I agree with the social aspects you were talking about as well. I feel like since they're kind of taking notes from Final Fantasy, I think they're looking at doing maybe player housing or something like that. They've kind of
Mm,
hinted at doing more social aspects because they added the fishing, but they're like, we want to add more, but it's gonna be kind of like a package deal with a lot of things interconnected. So we're
right,
hoping to do that later update. So maybe in one of the content updates in the future, they'll have like a big content for
right,
like the social aspects of the game, maybe like housing, like
right.
and things like that. Would be good to see. I think it would be good for the community since you have such like a beautiful world and like all that like anime
Sure.
aesthetics. Being able to capitalize on that with the social aspects as well would be definitely, I think, good thing for the game.
Yeah, I think if they really expand on the whole cosmetic stuff, different emotes, different cosmetics, different things that you can farm in game, different things that you can purchase with gacha, and then they add layers on top of it, like you're saying, housing, maybe even life skilling, activities that you can do that aren't related to gear progression,
Right, right.
that are maybe really related to horizontal stuff slash cosmetic items. Maybe even tie that into like weekly events that come out. Hey, this week we've got like this fishing event where if you and a partner or you solo, you get X amount of stuff, you can unlock this. I think activities like that, I feel like will really separate Blue Protocol from the other games, because a lot of the people that are playing Blue Protocol, I feel like, are people that very much just love the aesthetics of being able to play an online anime MMORPG that's actually an anime. Like it literally, like on my screen, it looks like an anime I would watch. Like that's my character, and I'm excited for that, and I want the game to be good with that theme. I feel like a lot of people have
Hmm.
fallen in love with that, and it just so happens to have nice combat. But I think I think at a core the success will rely on like the cosmetics and all that stuff, and it seems like they recognize that based off of their monetization scheme.
Yeah, I definitely think they're aware of the potential they have there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess going forward with that then, so in the last developer stream, we also got to look at the monetization in the game. So
Mm.
what did you think about the monetization?
Yeah, so I think the whole system with plugs and all that stuff that we had talked about on the previous podcast, that still goes. But we got to be fair, we got to experience the end game. If they're monetizing things that can easily be obtained in game, and or easily be the cap can be easily achieved. Here's an example. If 10 item level is the cap, and you can pay your way to 10 item level, it doesn't matter if anyone can hit 10 item level relatively easy, like very easily. Like even a free to play player is going to hit it in a week, doesn't matter. Then nobody's going to complain about the pay to progress system that's there, because it doesn't matter. Like there's no point.
Right.
You're saving yourself like a day or two, right? Doesn't matter. But if it's something that is, it's like man, like Lost Ark for example, it's very difficult to hit that cap for a free to play player. If that's the case, then that's going to be a problem. I don't know. We don't know how it's going to be. It seems like it's fairly simple, and like
Hmm.
the guaranteed items that you get each day and all that stuff. I feel like when you actually play the game, it's not going to be bad and no one's going to give a shit. I feel like it's going to be one of those things. But that's the first thing that we got to kind of just get to end game and see and feel, and people like you and I can let the
Right.
community know, honestly, hey guys, it doesn't matter, or honestly, hey guys, like, let's taper this down. Because another thing, I know Amazon Games gets a lot of heat for this, but Amazon Games, every single game that they've released, published, every single game that Amazon Games has published has been less pay to win than whatever region it came from. Like, for example, Lost Ark. That's a fact. It's an objective truth. And the one game that they were calling the shots on, MMO that is, New World, it is not pay to win. It's like one of the very few games that are not pay to win. So when it comes to, I mean, say what you will about AGS, but when it comes to the monetization of the game, if it's not pay to win in JP, it's not going to be pay to win here. If it's a little bit pay to win in JP, I think there's a very good chance that if we're vocal in the Western community, that they will at the very least taper down or water down some of those monetization schemes for our version, as they have with Lost Ark, for example, right? So yeah, that I guess that's part one for the monetization. Part two, the only not major concern that I have, but real concern that I have is the Imagines with the Battle Pass. Now, Imagines,
Right.
for those of you who are watching, it's gear. You can think of it as a pet, but in Blue Protocol, you don't have gear outside of your weapon. You don't have armor. You have Imagines that you equip, and you have passive Imagines and you have active Imagines. Active Imagines are Imagines that come with an actual ability that you can use that has a cooldown. Now, if these Imagines, which are MP, by the way, when you play the game, again, level 20, who knows at Endgame, but the Imagines that we were getting were like shitty boar Imagines.
Yeah.
Okay, they're like fucking, excuse me, oh, sorry, I don't know if, wait, am I allowed to curse on your,
I,
on your
I think
thing?
it should be fine. Yeah.
So, okay, I know you won't get demonetized, but just, you know, your channel, so,
Yeah.
you can't, so for us, when we were getting the Imagines, they were all just, you know, just like mobs and stuff. And now all of a sudden, this battle pass is showing us Imagines that are like NPCs, like that, like story NPCs, major characters in the story. Now, of course, that doesn't mean anything. They could still be shit. But, you know, as someone that doesn't know what's going to happen here, a little part of me is kind of thinking, well, how powerful is this Imagine going to be? Is this Imagine, is like free to play players just going to have all these boars and maybe a world boss at best, but then like the super nice ones that everyone's going to want, like the story NPCs and these cute girls, elf girls, whatever, like it's going to be locked behind a premium battle pass thing? That would be bad, right? That would be bad. But I don't know. I guess that's the only concern. I mean, you heard what they said. You could understand it way better than I could.
Yeah. I think.
Maybe you can share what they said.
Yeah.
A
So I
little
think
bit
one
more
of the
about it.
things they were saying is that, well, you have these Battle Imagine in the Battle Pass, and one of them you can get. I think it's a recipe at the. So for the Battle Pass, there's the free version, and then there's the paid version, right? And the free version goes up to rank 60. The paid version goes up to rank 100. And at the end of the free version, the rank 60, you get one, I think, a level 40 Battle Imagine. And then
Sorry, could you, a free one, the free pass, the free track, sorry?
yeah, so during in the free pass, once you get to rank 60 in that free pass, you get a level 40 Battle Imagine.
Support one, right?
Yeah, I think it was the support one, right? It was one that made like a dome around you.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
But it does sound pretty good as a support ability. So
it sounded really good. I mean, we'll have to see, but yeah.
The first thing that came to mind when I saw it was like, are they just going to have like everyone in the team equip that and just like block off all enemy attacks? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. On a 60-second cooldown, you know, people like, it's on 60-second cooldown. I'm like, bro, you know those... You know, they're all like 60 to 90-second cooldowns. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. If you have like everyone in your party with that, you just switch off 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, and then you have defense from range attacks.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's in the free track.
But it is in the free pass. And then at the end of the paid pass at level 100, you get a recipe for the level 50 not level 50 battle imagine, which is, I think it was like the ice field around you. I think, what did it do? Let's see. I think did like some ice damage, slowed them down, and gave them some ice resistance down or something like that. So I don't know like how powerful that would be. It sounded like that they said that the battle imagines are being created at equal power level to other ones you can acquire normally in game, because you have like the monsters in game that can be battle imagines as well. So I think it's really going to come down to maybe less of a power level issue, but a ability issue. So if there's a unique ability on the battle imagine in like a paid form, for example, I know like that dome one was in the free pass, but if that is like only that ability type of ability is only in that like battle pass or something like that, it could be problematic later on where some players can't get that ability anymore.
Right.
Or if there's like a paid version of like an unique ability later on, and everyone's saying this ability is like broken, and then everyone's using that, I could see that being problematic.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Even if it's like what you're saying just now, even if it's not pay to win and it's in the free track, like you said, I don't know if I like that decision to put unique abilities in a battle pass, unless that same ability is accessible to from another imagine that's in the game. It's just skinned differently, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think it comes down to, is like what other options are going to be like for the monsters, are there comparable things, and if you can do basically like the same function with just like a normal like monster battle imagine in game, then it probably wouldn't be as problematic. But if it gets to the point where there's, I don't know, maybe unique stat distributions or something with the battle imagine, where like this has like a certain stat that's like the best for like a certain build or something like that, or I don't know, the abilities I was talking about, if it becomes like to a point where it's unique compared to other things you can normally acquire in the game, then I could see that being problematic later on. But at this point, it's hard to kind of judge without knowing.
We have to see it. Yeah,
we have to see
it to Endgame and see it. Was there there was an imagine that was tied to the premium pass though, right?
Right. Yeah. So the premium,
like the damage one.
The premium one was it was the level 50 Ayn Rand. So it's like another of like one of the NPC female characters from the story.
The story.
Like the priest, this kind of girl.
Yeah.
She's used. That's like the ice ability that spreads out. That's the premium one. And then there was also, it was like in the BPP store, the BP point store, there was also a recipe. I think there was like a Feste beta version, because they have like alpha, beta, theta, I don't know, iota, whatever versions of the NPC battle imagines. So that was like another one where that would probably be, you would get it through the BP points, which is like, I think you can get that free and also somewhat through trading in like items you had bought. So it's kind of hard to judge.
If it's one of those things where it's like, if you purchase things from the cash shop and you get a currency, and that currency is the only currency that you can use to purchase these items, that's a problem. That is something that's in Lost Ark, by the way, and something that is not in the Western version of Lost Ark. A lot of people don't know that because, well, it's not in the Western version of Lost Ark, so they don't know, right? But that's another example of where, AGS would be a little bit of a saving grace, hopefully, if that is a cash shop feature in the JP version, where you have to pay to win in order to get specific items. And I just don't see that being in the Western version, with AGS being the publisher, if that is the case, and if that's a problem. Yeah,
I think it really comes down to seeing what it's going to be like in the in-game. Like, my current impressions is that hopefully it's not going to be like that big of a difference between other things. It's going to be pretty comparable to what other items you can get in game, like other equipment. So then if that's the case, then it wouldn't be an issue, but we don't know yet. And perhaps it will be a big issue. And then at that point we should raise our voices, and hopefully they make some changes.
Yeah, for sure. There will be plenty of things that people in the Western community will end up complaining about, probably things that we're not even aware of right now.
Right.
The pitchforks up, and I
think like one thing was when we looked at like the prices for some of the things like the rose orbs, they're like special in-game currency. When I was looking at like Japanese chat, it seems like a lot of people thought it was pretty expensive for some items. Like it was like a normal like outfit or like a mount or something was around like 4,500 yen. It's kind of hard to like say the prices because they
no, because I thought it was so I thought it was I thought it was $1. So like $1, like 1 yen, or like 100 yen essentially, because 100 yen is like the equivalent to the US dollar
Right.
minus the exchange rate. I don't know how much percentage it's different right now, but it's their dollar versus our dollar type of
Right.
thing. And I thought it was like 100 of the red, was it crystals? What was it called again?
The rose orbs, right?
The rose orbs. I thought I saw like 100 rose orbs for like this cosmetic, and I was like, bro, that's $1 for this cosmetic. Maybe I was looking at it wrong.
Oh, it was like 100 yen for 10 rose orbs.
Okay.
So
okay.
So it's like 10 to 1.
For 10.
So
Gotcha.
for like 450, so like some like the cosmetic like outfits for 450 rose orbs, which would be like 4,500 yen or $45, or a little bit less now because of the conversion rates, but
yeah, probably $40.
Yeah, so so it felt kind of expensive, and a lot of the chat in Japan was saying expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
jeez,
a lot of the players were feeling like that it was pretty expensive, and then I guess
it is $45 for that's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, the industry rate, I feel like for cosmetic is like 15, 20 tops, maybe 25 if you're pulling out like all the stops, but industry rate for cosmetic pixels, I feel like in the West at least 15 to 20 for like a full-on outfit.
Yeah, it felt like it was like double what you would normally expect from from prices.
I didn't know it was that expensive.
Yeah, it was pretty high up, and it's like their celebration, like game launch celebratory pack was, I think it was like around like 5,000 yen if you were getting like the cheapest rose orbs, which is, you know, like $50 or $45 or whatever you want to call it. So it's like it's getting pretty high up there. So
my chat is saying 4,500 right now is $30 US, $32 US right now.
Oh yeah, so yen is pretty cheap right now.
But, yen is pretty cheap.
But
like,
if you consider it from like a Japan perspective, it's still like 100 yen is like what a dollar would be like for like an American. With the conversion rates, I think the last couple of years the yen has dropped, but like the feeling for like a Japanese player would be like
$45.
Yeah,
it would feel.
Yeah, it would be what it would feel like. So it like a Japanese players are like, that's really expensive. And I guess another thing that kind of goes with that is that a lot of the players kind of watching the stream like didn't think that the outfits and things that they had shown in the stream were too appealing. I don't know, did you like, you're looking at like what they had showed for like the clothing and like accessories, were there like certain things like, oh, I really want that, or were they just kind of, I don't know, mid?
I thought I typically like edgy things, and I prefer to play male characters, so I think like the heavy knight / you know, whatever that they categorize that as, I thought there was like maybe one or two in there that looked pretty decent, but other than that, no, to be honest, I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling these costumes. I wouldn't want to pay money for it. I wouldn't want to pay $45 in Japan.
Right.
Shit, man. Damn.
I guess they're kind of the male outfits looked a little bit better, but yeah, overall it felt like nothing really stood out, like saying like, oh, I really want to buy that. Like even the mounts, like the unicorn mounts, like I don't really know.
Yeah, I thought the mounts looked a little bit better than the costumes, though, to be fair.
But yeah, that's true. But,
yeah.
But still, I don't know. And then the gacha, I guess they called her gacha because I don't know, it's kind of like a background, but Bandai Namco has a thing called gashapon, which is their version of gacha in like a toy. So that's why they're going with gacha for their gacha. So it's like like a trademark kind of thing. But they call it gacha in their game. But it was around probably like 500 yen for a pull, which is, you know, I don't know, $4, whatever you want to call it.
Like $5 for their equivalent. But I guess it would be like $3.02
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
per pull.
Yeah,
wait, per pull or per for 10 pulls.
per pull. So like $3 for like one
So
pull.
$30 for 11 pulls because you get one pull free,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
30. So like their equivalent would be $50.
Right.
So for them, they're feeling like, because their dollar, they're feeling $50. What?
Yeah. It definitely feels expensive.
That's so expensive.
And this is for a gacha where you don't even like, it's like probability. You don't even know if you're going to get it.
You gotta keep pulling. Like gachas is a whole, yeah, you gotta be like, you save that shit and then you end up pulling like you do like 10 pulls, like you do 10 pulls 10 times. That's what you usually do. That's insane.
Yeah, so I get you kind of need to wait to see the rates, but I'm not expecting the rates to be very good. They'll probably post the rates of, like I think it's by Japanese law they have to post rates for gacha, so what percentage each thing will be. So we'll be able to see that at least, but I'm not expecting things to be high. But
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So now this reminded me when they were going over the rose orbs and the monetization with that. I saw something that was mentioned on the paper, and it said something like how certain things expire.
Right.
And the translation on the page was interpreted in a way where it was like your rose orbs will expire, but surely that can't be the case, right? I'm assuming that the packages, the rose orb packages, those deals expire after like a month. What was it that expires after a month?
I think it's the rose orbs themselves. So like the ones you purchase expire. And when looking into it, it looks like it has something to do with like Japanese law, where paying for a virtual currency, if they hold it for more than I think it's like 6 months, they have to like pay a fee for the money that they like exchange or something like that. So that's why they have a limit on how long you can hold the currency.
Okay, so that better be different for our region, because
I would expect most likely it's going to change for
sure. Yeah,
because I think it's just like a Japanese law thing.
Okay,
but,
if they have that in the West, you and I, let's get on that. Let's lead that that charge there, because imagine paying for a cash shop currency, but it expires after a month.
I think it's like in America, I think it's illegal for them to have it like expire.
Yeah, I think it's the other way.
So in Japan, it's like they're paying a fee because I think it's stopped like maybe like money laundering or something, where like you like put money in like to a different currency and like maybe it could come back or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, that's big brain shit.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I didn't really read into all the laws, but
it's like we really can't put it into Bitcoin, so let's put it into Blue Protocol Rose Orbs. I have $2 million in Rose Orbs.
But yeah, I was looking at some of like Japanese forums about that as well, and it seems like some other Japanese games do things similar to that. So maybe that's just a little bit more standard for Japan right now, but
gotcha.
I would definitely not expect to see that in the Amazon version. So that was definitely for me though. It was kind of shocking. I'm like, is that a thing? Like, what? Why is it expire? And it's like you want to buy like this like big like they have like the starter pack where you can pay like like $100 or whatever and get like the extra limited like the one-time purchase of a bunch of in-game currency, right? And it's like, but that's gonna expire in 5 months. Will I be able to use it all?
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying.
I paid all this money for it.
Buy this damn stupid sailor outfit I don't want. $45 for this shit.
Guess they just want you the last month just to use it all on the gacha. I don't know, but there's some things that are questionable, but maybe that's just a local thing for Japan.
Right.
So I don't know.
It would have to be.
But for other things, it feels like for gacha, the appearances weren't the best currently, but next month, if they do have the beach event, I'm guessing maybe they'll have swimsuits, and that's where they'll make the big bucks from the players. Everyone will pay for swimsuits and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategic move on their part. Yeah, launch it with the summer outfits. Yeah, you're definitely gonna make money off of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
And then what was the other things they had? I guess the season pass, which is like their battle pass kind of thing. And I was personally pretty surprised with that. What was it, around 180 rose orbs, which is 1,800 yen. I don't know, like $18 in feeling for Japan, whatever.
Yeah.
You can convert it however you want, but
Yeah.
they had it so if you get to the end of it, you can get the next one free. So it's kind of like I think it's like Apex and Fortnite kind of have similar thing where if you buy the battle pass once, as long as you play enough, you can get the future battle passes for free. So that seemed like pretty reasonable
Yeah,
approach to
for
the
sure.
game. So if you can make a one-time purchase, as long as you're playing the game, you get all the future battle passes for free, which is I thought was a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially in the West, anything that's like a one-time purchase generally is a lot more accepted. You know, it's
Right.
like, I mean, maybe things like storage and inventory slots, that's kind of frowned upon. I feel like a battle pass, if they were to release a battle pass in the West and it was like, hey, you just buy it once and you can continue to get them free if you, as long as you finish it, I think that would be pretty well received in the West in our region.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully they have like a similar approach for Amazon as well. I'm guessing they'll keep probably the good things and maybe remove some of the like the bad aspects of the monetization when it goes to Amazon. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. And I guess for other things, that covers most of the monetization. Was there any other parts of the monetization you wanted to touch on there?
Not really. I think the only thing that kind of concerned me were the imagines that we spoke about.
Right.
Everything else, I mean, Battle Pass, gotcha. Those are all things that I feel like weren't too surprising that we've kind of known it was coming for a while. So
Yeah. So I guess that covers just about all like the dev stream like information we had gone through so
Mhm.
far. Were there anything other parts you wanted to touch upon or discuss? Like I don't know, the game or anything in general there.
Yeah, sure. One of the things I wanted to ask you was
Right.
what are you planning on are you planning on doing and diving into some of the competitive PvE stuff, like finding a team?
So I think what was it, the score attack and the time
Yeah.
attack, those ones I'm pretty sure like solo missions. So
Were
you
they solo? Wasn't it wasn't there? They were talking about something with a team that you do.
I think what was it, the tower, I think the tower mission had like a timed, like you need to complete it within a certain amount of time, and that's
Uh-huh.
like a party
Right.
oriented
I feel
thing.
like they were. I mean, the way well, I mean, I heard from a translation, right? So, what I heard from the translation was that there was a group PVE competitive event, and you'd have to find a team and then you'd be competing against other teams. That's what I heard. Was there nothing like that? Maybe it was.
I'm not sure
Maybe
if
I didn't hear it right.
I heard that. I know for like the time attack and score attack, I'm
Okay.
pretty certain were just like a solo
Mhm.
oriented ones where you go in by yourself and then you compete with time or the score. For other PvP like group competitive things, I'm not sure if they talked about that yet.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have to take a look at that one more time. But
Yeah, because yeah, when I heard it, and then when I did a Yandex screen thing, it said like team, and he was talking about how you'd have to find a team or something. I mean, maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, or I heard it
yeah, I
wrong,
might have
but
skipped over something as
yeah.
well. So, but
Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask you
right.
in regards to that.
But yeah,
So yeah.
I guess in regards to like being in like a team or like a guild or a group or whatnot, I'm still
Mhm.
kind of like decide what I want to do, like with like
Yeah.
friends in Japan, or make like a global kind of group that's like English speakers, or I
Yeah.
haven't really decided yet.
Do you have a lot of friends in Japan that are trying to play?
Yeah, I have like a group of friends that I play with
Mhm.
pretty often online for just like games in general. And there's
Mhm.
a few of them there that are looking at just like trying out the game. So I'll
Okay.
probably be playing with some friends as well in Japan. So I'm not sure if how long they'll stick around. If they're going to be around for a longer amount of time, then maybe I'll do like a guild with them. But if they're just going to like play for a little bit, like it's not for me, and they leave, and then maybe I'll find
Yeah.
like make my own
Yeah.
team or like find like another group or something.
Yeah.
But
I think, to be perfectly honest, I think creating a Western and English international guild on that side in the JP server. I think that would actually be a really good idea.
Yeah, that's something I
That
could
would be
consider.
nice. Yeah, if you do it, I'd be happy to join.
All
And
right,
I
yeah.
feel like we're both in there. Maybe we can,
Yeah,
kind
then
of
we could
get
team
that.
up and do
Everyone,
some
yeah, have
things
it. If
together.
you're an English speaker, you join this clan or you join this guild, and I think that would be great. I
Oh,
would be
yeah.
down. So if you
All
do, let
right.
me
Yeah,
know.
maybe
I'd love to
maybe
join.
I'll think about making like a thing, and then we can join up together and do some missions and things together. Play the
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask you if they had anything competitive PVE with a group. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to team up for it, but I guess
Right.
there's no there isn't. I guess.
I don't think so, but maybe I'd like misheard it or something. But I'll have to look back at that. But,
I mean, I heard it.
yeah.
I was I mean, I was very fried, and I
Yeah.
heard it through through a translator. You heard it directly, and you speak Japanese, so I'm sure
All
you're
right.
right.
Right. So I think that just about covers everything. If there's, I don't know, anything else, I think that was like the last thing you had. But if there's nothing else, then maybe we can probably come into the stream this time, and then the launch of the game is going to be next Wednesday, I guess. So just like a
Next
couple days,
Wednesday.
days
Are you
away.
going to be playing when the servers go up? What's your schedule like for the launch?
So for me, okay, there's a little bit of personal life thing, but I actually had my second child was born last month, so I've been kind of busy looking after a baby recently, and then also like, my other child, so busy with children a little bit. But I'm gonna be trying to play as much as I can, kind of like in between stuff like that. But for launch day, I'm hoping to be there at the launch of the game. I don't know if I can do like a super long stream, nothing like, probably won't be able to do like 8 hours or something, but probably do like little streams here and there.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll kind of be intermittent. Well, whenever I can get on, I'll probably be on. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, makes sense. That's good, man. It'll be fun. I hope we hopefully we can play together, group up together. I'll be going pretty hard during the JP launch, so
yeah, you're probably gonna be leveling up faster than me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a time thing, right?
Yeah,
I get it. I don't have kids, so I have the luxury of taking work off. So
right.
that's
Nice.
what I've done. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely would like to group up. We can do some content together. Looks like it would be a fun thing to do.
Bro, let's do it. Like seriously, because for me, I'm trying to learn the game, as much as we can, and we're both content creators trying to get good content out there. And I think for this game, a stable content creator base, not just for this game, any game, a stable content creator base that covers a game long term is really important for the longevity of a game. In my personal opinion, I feel like it is. It's like if you go on Twitch or YouTube, whatever, and you have people that are consistently playing a game. Lost Ark is a great example. No one says that Lost Ark is completely dead. People are saying it's dying, whatever, population, all that stuff. But no one can say that it's completely dead, because you obviously have people and streamers streaming it that have thousands of viewers still. They're just always in that space. So I think we as content creators, if Blue Protocol comes out and we're consistent and we hold down the fort and constantly try to showcase and create content in relation to the game for the community, I think that would definitely give the game a better chance in the long run as well. So I know what I did learn from the Lost Ark community is if content creators like you and I, team up and do collabs like this together and support one another, it just not only creates a very nice atmosphere amongst content creators, but it's also just, it creates a good game community as well. And hopefully we can do that for Blue Protocol.
All right, yeah, I would love to do that. And then if you have like questions about the game, since it's in Japanese as well, I could probably help you out.
100%. I'm gonna be sliding in those DMs nonstop, man.
Right, yeah. I'll definitely friend you once the game launches, and maybe we can hook up in the game and do some of the missions and party up and just kind of have like a collab like stream.
Sure. I might actually be visiting Japan in the next coming months outside of the launch, because I'm of course going to be moving to Japan for the launch.
Right. Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm actually planning on going to Japan. So
nice.
I'll hit you up. You're in. Well, we could talk about that later, but I'll definitely hit you up. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's just about everything for the stream. So we can probably end the current stream here, but hopefully have some more maybe podcasts like this in the future once the game's been out a little bit. Maybe after like the next developer stream, we could kind of go back to that and have like another kind of like post-launch kind of stream talking about our feelings for the game so far and about how developers are kind of like addressing maybe some problematic areas and things like that.
Yeah, let's do it. I would love to. I mean, you know what I think would be a great idea? Maybe we could reach out to like Blue Protocol database or something.
Oh, right.
Maybe we could reach out to them. But I feel like if we did something, maybe weekly might be too much, but maybe even like a bi-weekly thing or once a month type of thing, where we maybe get on a call like this and just discuss the game and our thoughts as content creators and just kind of voice it, maybe like as a show. I feel like that could be a good idea for content as well for the BP community. I don't know if you're interested in that, but if you're down, I'd love to do that with you.
Yeah, I would be interested. I think a lot of the people watching as well would be interested in having more kind of Blue Protocol content and like podcasts and there's kind of discussions like this to watch. I know like for me, like with other games as well, if there's a game like I'm really interested, I kind of like watch just like watching kind of like content like this, like people just talking about the game. So I think it'll be a great thing for the community.
Yeah, that would be great. Let us know in the comment section below if you'd like to see that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this man. He's gonna blow up with Blue Protocol. So yeah, show him some love, boys. Show him some love.
All right. So thanks so much for joining me today, Kanon. I wish you the best. Hope you have some great Diablo content coming out and then some more Blue Protocol content once the game launches. So
I will. I appreciate you for inviting me. I had a great time talking to you as always. Let's continue to give the community some good content, man.
All right. Sounds great. Okay. I hope to see you later then, maybe at the game launch.
All right. I'll hit you up for sure. All right. Thank you.